Hey everyone. Yeah, I guess you could say it's a sort of a continuation of looking at and kind of doing a closer look, as Zero Nice or I could put it, of, you know what, let me move over to the other side, it might be easier. Move this little guy to the side. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, yeah, maybe I don't really know. Oh, it depends. Table's a little bit more different than a stool, but I don't want to have to bring a stool out here and then my mom will be like, "Oh, what was this out here?" Or why is this moved? Because she tends to notice these kind of things. But we'll just go like this. That's a little bit better. Anyway, folks. Again, we're going to do a little bit of a closer look at the Sonic DVDs that I have, the sets that I have. Again, give credit to Zero Nizrak for kind of inspiring me to do this. I mean, basically taking a little closer look at what we have and, stuff that's related to it. So, as you can see, got a bunch of stuff here. We have, of course, the first DVD, and we got the Adventures, the first 2 volumes of Adventures, Underground, SatAM, X, Underground Mega Mix, and then some Sonic stuff right here as well. So let me get some coffee there for a second and move some stuff here and around just for a moment, and we'll try to focus on some of the stuff by order, some of the earlier stuff by order, so you can kind of get an idea of how. And that was my Kindle. That wasn't the that wasn't the camera, as far as I know. I mean, I know it's got to be charged, but it wasn't the camera. So it was my Kindle. So I do apologize for that. It looks like we might get some weather around here, so let me yeah, just an email and all that, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, though, we're going to start with some of the earlier DVDs and and stuff, and go from there. But first of all, before I do that, I do want to give a little background. I've watched. For many of you that probably know this anyway, I was a fan, have been a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, of the franchise and the characters since the beginning. I'm going on 200 issues subscribed to the comic. I officially subscribed to the comic about the late 90s. Basically around officially issue 71, 72, so I'm very close to, again, I gotta look at my issues, but I think it might be around there, to 200 issues, so that's pretty cool. And I've been reading the comic constantly for a long time, even before I subscribed. And as a fan, back in 93, back in 94 and all that, back in 93, me and my family lived in Kansas for a few months, and basically the month before me, my mom, and my sister and my dad went back to California, or at least my dad drove us back to California because he had to go back there and help take care of stuff over in Kansas. I watched the TGIF sneak peek of Sonic SatAM and got a kick out of it. I liked it. I saw the first few episodes as best I could, even though they might have been in black and white, sometimes in color. And you might say, black and white, what do you mean? Well, believe it or not, the only TV I had in my room was a black and white TV. Go figure. But I would watch it there, and of course when we moved, lots of personal stuff went on. Couldn't really watch it as much as I used to. But finally when I moved Again, that's my email. But again, when I finally moved back to Kansas with my dad due to personal reasons, I was finally able to catch up on Sonic and all that. We got a VCR, and I was able to record a lot of some of the season 1 episodes, and then I focused when season 2 came around in '94. I focused on trying to get a majority of that season on one VHS tape. My cousin, who's 2 years older than me, had kind of inspired me to do that because he had basically recorded every season of X-Men, as far as I know, on VHS tape. Every Saturday morning he'd get up and record every episode, every Saturday. So it kind of inspired me to do that with a lot of the shows that I liked. Unfortunately, me and my dad's VCR decided to take a crap on us, and right after I got the Void episode, this was what's ironic. I missed the first episode, which was Game Guy. I did see it finally, but I missed the first episode, Game Guy, of season 2. So I missed that. But what was ironic about it, was again, what was ironic about it was the fact was the fact that even though I missed that, I got a majority. I basically got from Conversion, No Brainer, Blaster Pass 1, Blaster Pass 2, the first of the 2 episodes of 11-minute comedic shorts. This one being Fed Up with Antron and Ghostbusted. I got that. So again, that's Conversion, No Brainer, Blasted Past 1, Blasted Past 2, the 2-minute short, the episode with the 2 11-minute shorts, Fed Up with Antron and Ghostbusted, Dulcie, and The Void. Those were the only, I had basically 7 out of the 6 episodes of 7 out of the 13 episodes of season 2. So basically, after I get The Void, knowing that that's going to lead into something bigger, I continuously get up and try to record. Unfortunately, the VCR will not record the following Saturday. It suddenly decided to take a crap. I don't know what happened, but suddenly, I guess the recording it still played. Here's what was crazy. It still played VHS tapes. It still played them, but it couldn't record them. I don't know exactly what happened, but my guess is the recording mode finally burnt out. Of course, that would be knowledgeable since we did get it used. I think we got it at a pawn shop or something like that, or a thrift store. At thrift store or pawn shop we got it, and it just finally died out after a while. I don't know if maybe it's because I was constantly recording on it every Saturday or what was going on. But it finally decided to kick the bucket a week after I recorded the Prelude episode, The Void, for the on Sat AM season 2. So that pretty much was history for me. That was pretty much it. And so for a while, I would keep up sort of which way the Sat AM was going with the comics and stuff, and long history short, as I've mentioned before, I went into this summer program 2 years in a row, and it was with this summer program, vocational program, that I found out that Sonic Sat AM was on USA. Now, unfortunately, where I was, the cable company at the time did not have USA on the lineup. So I had no idea, Sat AM was still being aired on USA. Unfortunately, a lot of fans had described that the USA Network version was butchered. Basically, it was edited up, butchered for time restraints. And you could see that. You can kind of see that. So, anyway, again, long story short, when I finally moved out on my own, I had I had my VCR and everything because I didn't have a DVD player at the time. I think I got that about a year or so after I moved out. And but it was between that time I went on Amazon.com. I think it was Amazon or somewhere. It was a Canadian store, I know that. And I saw that they were selling the VHS tapes of Sonic SatAM really cheap. And I remember, and here's the honest truth, I remember the first time I went into the Target, I think it was in Topeka or Lawrence, and in this store, I saw, in the video section, I saw the Sonic SatAM VHS tapes. Now, of course, my dad didn't get them for me at the time because even though he probably did have the money or he didn't, there was more bigger priorities to take care of. So, again, I didn't get the VHS tapes then, but I finally did get about, I think I did get all of them, maybe I think I got 3 of them. I think there was 4, I think I got all 4 maybe, I gotta look again, but I do have them. I do have them stored away with my comics, and I was just very happy to finally get them from this Canadian store. And then of course fast forward later to 2004, and we get the announcement that we've all been waiting for, Sonic SatAM coming to DVD, but unfortunately it wasn't exactly how we wanted. So again, let me check the time here. But again, like I said, unfortunately it wasn't exactly as we wanted. So I guess now 11 minutes in, or 11 minutes 45 seconds in, we can finally talk about the DVDs. And again, the reason I kind of went that long with that story was because it was leading to this. I was leading into this. This here was the first, I don't know if you could really see that well, this here was the first Sonic SatAM DVD. And on the back on it you have a sort of a synopsis of what the DVD is about, what episodes are on there. And basically what's on there is Super Sonic, which was also on VHS. Then you have Sonic and Sally. Then you have Sonic Racer. And I think you got Sonic Boom after that. Yeah, they did have an episode called Sonic Boom on Sonic SatAM. Kind of ironic, right? And basically, they did have a bonus episode, and as you can see, that's the DVD right there. It was released by Lionsgate and Trimark. Lionsgate Home Entertainment and Trimark Home Video released it. And there is a bonus episode on there. Basically, you gotta basically there's a trivia game, and if you solve the trivia game, you get the bonus episode, which is Sonic and the Secret Scrolls. Yeah, one of my favorite season 1 episodes, Sonic and the Secret Scrolls. You basically get that on there. So instead of 4 episodes, you get 5. The only way you can get that 5th episode, of course, is to pass the trivia game, which is a lot easier than they make it, which is a lot easier than they make it out to be. Because, if you're a SatAM fan, you pretty much know exactly what to answer. So yeah, and as you can tell, it's a little faded because when I lived in Kansas, I would have my my DVD displays. What is it, case or something? Not case, but I would have my DVD stand, because I had one of those multi-stands, if you will, and I would have it in the sun sometimes. So basically this got faded a little bit by the sun. But yeah, this was the first DVD that came out on Sonic SatAM. Unfortunately, it had a short shelf life due to the fact that when Lionsgate and Trimark released it, they did not get permission apparently from Disney, who owned the rights to all Dick shows at the time, even Sonic. They did not get their permission to release the series. So they had to pull this off the shelf. And yeah, it was a bit disappointing, but you know, what are you going to do? So they pulled that off the shelf. They pulled this off the shelf, and we had to wait for a while before we would get any official release. Now, thankfully, there's somebody I know called Rafaela XD. I think that's who it is. She basically was selling VCD copies of her original recordings of Sonic Sat AM. She was fortunately selling them. And hold on for a sec. Well, like I say, fortunately she was selling them, and no, I'm just checking on my dog. She's lying down there in the rec room, resting. But like I said, Rafaela was selling her VCDs. But she wasn't actually selling her VCDs, she was selling copies, so they were bootlegs, if you will. But she was doing basically what anybody was doing at that time. She was selling copies of shows that you couldn't see anymore, but you wanted to keep seeing, you wanted to keep watching. So she sold me copies of, because I had dealt with her before. She had actually, through me paying her a little bit, had VCD'd a lot of the stuff I had put on VHS. Some stuff was weird, like, you know, we had like Minerva Meek melting and, you know, stuff like that. And sometimes they were legit episodes, so couldn't go wrong with that. And it was the only way I could have anything I could watch on DVD. Of course, at the time, because of course YouTube at the time was not invented yet, was not around yet. But thankfully though, that kept me, that connection with Rafaela XD kept me connected, you know, with the series as long as I could. And again, I still had the comics as well. Then 2007 comes around. Well, actually 2006 comes around, and I'm a member of all the forums that I'm still a member of. I was a member of Sonic Stadium, Saturday Morning Sonic, SonicSatAM.com. I was a member of a lot of them, like I still am today. And ironically, it was through these forums that I found out that Shout Factory was releasing Sonic the Hedgehog Sat AM on DVD as a complete series. Now, this of course ironically happened almost, well, not really, but almost immediately after Disney sold the license back to Dick Entertainment, or at least to any outside parties at the time. I think Dick Entertainment got the license back or something. But basically, they had sold the license back to Dick, or the license expired, and Dick got ownership back. And Dick started working with companies like Shout Factory to finally distribute a lot of the shows on DVD. So Sonic Sat AM was one of the shows that fans wanted to see the most. I think they did a poll of exactly what show do you want. Brian Ward, who has worked on a lot of the Shout Factory sets of Transformers, G.I. Joe, Gem, you name it. He also worked on a lot of the sets for the Sonic series that Shout Factory was releasing. He also worked on a lot of the other Dick Entertainment shows that Shout Factory was also releasing at the time. So basically we get word that in March of 2007 we're going to get this complete series on DVD. So we go from this in 2004, which was a good substitute, or not substitute, but a good alternative, which was mostly season 1 though. We go from this